Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Now, Gervonta Davis is fighting this weekend against Lamont Roach. Yet and still, people are still finding a way to talk about Gervonta Davis and compare him to Canelo Alvarez, which I think is laughable. But the bottom line is, when Gervonta starts to compare himself to Canelo Alvarez, well, then I pay attention, right? Now, make sure you like and subscribe and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings, okay? Now, there's no secret that Canelo has a lot of respect for Gervonta Davis. He's even gone out on record and praised Gervonta Davis for the way Gervonta Davis fights, how he knocks people out. And Gervonta Davis as well has done the same thing for Canelo. So there's a deep amount of respect and admiration that they have. Now, I'm gonna tell you, when you hear Canelo Alvarez say when Gervonta Davis fights, he stops everything that he's doing to watch him fight. That speaks volumes about what Gervonta Davis brings to the ring. Over and above, Gervonta Davis has stated the same thing. If Canelo Alvarez is fighting, it doesn't matter what he's doing. He stops and he tunes in. So there's obviously a mutual respect and somewhat of a complementary relationship that has formed over the years between the two. It goes back to something that I say, real recognizes real, and I think that's what they have. That's what they have going for themselves. But when you think about Canelo Alvarez and Gervonta Davis, and we're talking about who's the biggest star, I don't think there's. When I hear people saying Gervonta Davis is the biggest star to Canelo, they can't back that up. Is Gervonta Davis a star? No doubt about that. Can he go on to become a bigger star than Canelo? I don't know. Because Canelo has the whole Mexico backing him. And he has any country that's Spanish speaking backing him. And he has non-Spanish speaking countries backing him. Can Gervonta get to that point? I think he can. Because he is special and he brings something to the ring that a lot of fighters don't bring. And that is almost the ability to be perfect. Like when you see some of the things happening in that ring where you see, someone caught Gervonta Davis, maybe Gervonta Davis overthrew a shot. I personally think everything Gervonta Davis does is strategic. I think it's to set traps and make his opponents comfortable and make them think that they're getting the upper hand, and then he hits them with the Baltimore boom and gets them out of there with the bing bings. So I think it's just inconceivable to think that anyone can be perfect. But when you see Gervonta Davis in the ring, I mean, you're damn near getting perfection. With Canelo, if you watch the way Canelo has evolved his fighting style, you look at him when Canelo fought Caleb Plant, you look at Canelo when he fought Berlanga, you look at Canelo in all of his fights before that outside of Bivol. Canelo has damn near evolved his style, and Munguia as well, to almost being perfect in the ring. But he's not perfect because we saw what happened with Canelo face Mayweather when he faced Bivol. But there's still some people who will sit there and say, you know what? He did lose to Mayweather, but he was inexperienced. He did lose to Bivol, but he was smaller. It doesn't matter if you're trying to justify his losses or not. The fact is he lost. Outside of that, he's looked damn near perfect. But with Gervonta Davis, he's never lost. Okay? And there are many people who feel that he is the perfect fighter. They just want to see him push himself a little bit more. But when you start talking about skill and you start talking about power, and you try to analyze both, the same way Gervonta and Canelo have done this when it comes to each other, man. Let me tell you something. I just think anyone who really knows what those two bring to the table, you got to double down that both of them are problems. But becoming the biggest star for Gervonta Davis, I just think you're going to take a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's going to take a lot more work because you can't come out here talking about you're going to retire. But maybe he's looking to create a demand for more people to watch him fight. But if he was to retire, I don't see that as being a big deal. I mean, Tyson Fury has retired, 5 times? You know what I'm saying? And for Davis, who's fighting this weekend, the fact that he, has looked at himself and Canelo and made some comparisons, I just don't think that is, I don't think it's that outlandish for him to do so. There's a lot of similarities between the two. But we're going to see, because I fully expect Gervonta Davis to make quick work of Lamont Roach. Gervonta is the one who's saying, no, that's not going to be the case necessarily. He's looking to knock him out, but he's giving him a whole lot of respect. He may make it difficult for Gervonta, the same way Caleb Plant made it a little bit difficult for Canelo. But we all saw what happened, is what we expected is for these guys to eventually find their rhythms. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. But anyway, man, you could see where there are some problems created in the fight where Lamont Roach makes things a little bit tricky for Gervonta. But again, Gervonta, like Canelo, they find their rhythm and they put the bing bings on people. But if you say, okay, what does Gervonta need to do to become a bigger star than Canelo? He got to start fighting stiffer competition. All right, he does. I'm not saying Lamont Roach is a soft touch, but and Gervonta made a good point. He said it's not even about fighting people with skills. It's about fighting people with names. He's like, the fans don't really know who has the most skills, who's the better fighter. They just know names. So he's like, the fact that I'm fighting Lamont Roach, he's like, most people aren't going to give me credit for that, so they're complaining, but they don't realize Lamont Roach will beat Teofimo, will beat Shakir Stevenson, will beat Devin Haney. And when he said that, I was like, you know what, that's a good point about a lot of boxing fans not being able to recognize skill, but just recognize names. But at the end of the day, if Gervonta wants to become a big star, he's going to have to fight some of the big names. No matter how he tries to justify what he's doing, he's going to have to fight some of the big names. And I think when you look at him not becoming undisputed, when he could have easily become undisputed, just chose not to. When you look at him not unifying the division, which he could easily do it. I just think it's an uphill battle for him. But Canelo's already become undisputed, multiple division champion. The amount of champions he's fought and clipped, the amount of money he's made, and he's always looking for the biggest challenge. If Gervonta was to take on the mentality that Canelo has as far as just trying to move up the ladder and test itself, I think Gervonta Davis could get there. I tell you what, because when you look at over here in America, who's the big star? Who's the big American star? Crawford's not. He's much better than what he was. A lot of casuals know him now, but Crawford's not. Deontay Wilder's done. Earl Spence is done. There really is no. And I'm trying to think, man. Matter of fact, who's the outside of Gervonta Davis, like a really big American superstar in boxing? I'm just looking at these weight divisions. You got Gervonta, Shakir and those boys all right, but no. Teofimo's all right, but no. At 147, Boots isn't there. Keith Thurman's at 154, but he's been gone so long. Virgil Ortiz could be. Virgil Ortiz could be. If Virgil Ortiz fights Majimov and he starts speaking more Spanish and locking in more with the Mexican fan base, but he's not from Mexico, so, he's American. So at the end of the day, it's like me. I'm born in America, but my belly is Trinidad and Tobago. Culturally, Trinidad and Tobago. But I'm American. So a lot of times they'll say, yeah, you qualify, but you're American. Even though culturally you're raised that way. And that's like Virgil Ortiz. Culturally, he's raised, Mexican culture, food, music, everything. But, hey, he's an American boy. And so I don't think Mexico they'll support him, but it ain't the same like Canelo. Crawford, Mosley Jr. maybe at 160, but no. Berlanga, no. He Puerto Rican, man. Puerto Rico is part of America, but he ain't no superstar. Caleb Plant, he's known, but he ain't a superstar. Diego Pacheco's similar situation as Ortiz. David Benavidez, again, similar situation as Ortiz and Pacheco. Nobody really at 175. 200, there's nobody there. You got this guy Glanton, but nobody knows who the hell he is. And up at heavyweight, there's no, let me show you this. There's no top American. Look at this. There's no American in there. All the Americans are gone now. You look at the heavyweight racket stack. Usyk, Fury, Dubois, Parker, Zhang, Caballero, Bacoli, Joshua, Hergovic, Wardley, Ajagba. There's no Americans in there no more. Even when you scroll down and you look at the racket stack under each sanctioning body. Let me see if I can find an American flag. You got Jared Anderson, Jermaine Franklin. He's still fumbling around. Shit, that's it. Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. Deontay Pettigrew. I don't know who the hell that is. There is no one. So at the end of the day, Gervonta Davis is really all you have over here in America. Huge opportunity, man, if he wants to step up his game. But as far as who's the biggest star, there's a lot of similarity between Gervonta and Canelo. Real recognizes real, but Gervonta has a lot of work to do if he really wants to be that guy. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I think Gervonta makes easy work of Lamont Roach this weekend, and then we'll see what he does next. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.